sorts of fabulous winter activities here in Door County, but nothing quite like what we're going to do today. Take a ferry ride through Death's Door on the Washington Island Ferry.
While reservations are not necessary during the more frequent spring, summer, and fall ferry trips, reservations are required for wintertime crossings. This can be done by a simple phone call to the ferry's toll-free number.
And while this daily route's a necessity for those that live on Washington Island, it's an amazingly unique Wisconsin adventure for visitors. Let's hop aboard.
Crossing Death's Door is usually about a 30-minute ride. The route from the Northport Ferry Dock typically takes passengers to the west of Plum Island in the warmer months of the year, but in the winter, the route often changes and follows the path to the east of Plum Island to take advantage of better ice conditions. The winter trip still takes around 30 minutes, depending on ice conditions, but because of the different route, it gives passengers a closer look at Pilot Island and the Pilot Island Lighthouse, a different view of Plum Island, the Plum Island Range Lights, and the former location of a U.S. life-saving station on Plum Island, and closer looks at parts of Detroit Island. The ferry line's winter boat, the Arnie J. Richter, is the newest ship in the fleet and was built in 2003. It was especially designed to be an icebreaker and has a pointed bow to help it cut through the ice. Its reinforced hull allows it to safely navigate the sometimes treacherous ice conditions in Death's Door. This winter ferry is 104 feet long and 38 feet wide. It can carry 150 passengers and up to 20 cars.
I will say it's a bit chilly and a little windy up here on the top viewing deck that's usually pretty pleasant in the summertime. They also do have a couple of warming areas right on the ferry, and you can also stay in your car if you'd like to.
Next, I headed up to the pilot house to chat with Captain Rich Ellefson. I asked him what the secret was to driving the ferry through the ice in Death's Door.
Try to take the path of least resistance. We try to avoid the heavy ice and keep the trips to a half hour as much as possible, save on the wear and tear on the equipment.
I also asked him what type of engine the ferry had to push through the ice.
It has twin 1,000 horsepower Caterpillars. With that, they each drive a 66-inch stainless steel wheel. So yeah, this boat will make about 2 knots and about 16-inch clear plate. Pretty much unless we have windrow ice or stacked ice that's over 2 or 3 feet thick, the boat can pretty much do it without having to back and ram in it.
After a bit more maneuvering through the ice in Detroit Harbor, the ferry pulled up to the dock on Washington Island and began to unload.
Well, now that we're here on Washington Island, what exactly is there to do? Let's go find out.
First, I stopped in at the ferry office by the dock to pick up an island map. Then I headed right back out on the ice to a Detroit Harbor fishing shanty.
Well, ice fishing's always an entertaining activity up here on Washington Island. I'm here with Eric. Eric, what's the biggest fish you ever caught out here doing some ice fishing?
Last year I got a 16.5-inch perch, about 2 pounds.
Whew, some good eating right there.
Looks good on the wall.
Even better. Well, here we are at Schoolhouse Beach. Now, it looks quite a bit different this time of year under a foot of snow, but it's still a magnificent place to come and explore.
There's also snowshoeing on the island's Heritage Nature Trail. Add in places to eat, shop, sleep, or even catch a performance or two, and you're sure to enjoy your time on the island.
Well, snowmobiling is also a fabulous option for winter activities over here, and they actually drive these snowmobiles right on the ferry. Well, here we are back on the ferry. We're ready to head back across Death's Door. Hope you enjoyed your tour of Washington Island. I know I did. The interesting thing about it is, sometimes you have ice, and other times, if the wind is right, you won't. So you may get a real bumpy ride, or you might get a ride smooth as July. Well, taking the ferry here over to Washington Island through Death's Door in the wintertime is truly an amazing experience. And I hope you get a chance to get up here and check it out for yourself. Now, the ferry does run every day of the year, weather permitting, so there's always a great opportunity to take this adventure for yourself. So until next time, we'll see ya.